Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. On today's Duel Review, it's Highschool of the Dead anime. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it.
Welcome to Thursday, the 1st of March. We are doing Highschool of the Dead.
That's right. And I'm the one that chose to do this. It is a semi-popular property here in America.
Really cool action.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. We're just going to get right into it. It is a good zombie film or series.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of cool zombie stuff and actually some decent story, even though it's fairly cliche. They have a lot of cliche characters that kind of plug into.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. If you enjoy zombie movies, you would enjoy the story in this anime. The problem is, and a lot of people already know this, the fan service, which is really like TNA service,
Yes.
like even more than fan, is so frequent and so...
Over the top.
Yes, it's ridiculous. Like, okay, the first couple episodes when you watch it, well, yeah, okay, we'll get to that.
Okay.
The first couple episodes, it's basically, two guys and one girl, and they're discovering that there's a zombie outbreak. They're in high school, and it's a gated high school. So somebody comes in the gate, and they're being chased, and yada yada. One of them dies. So when you see the girl fighting the zombies, she like gets knocked down, and her skirt flips up or whatever. So it's kind of like, that's ridiculous, whatever, fan service.
Yeah, but then you kind of push it aside.
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, that's ridiculous. I mean, especially when it's like zombies attacking you and you're like, you can't help but looking at her because it's flipping up or that doesn't, whatever.
It's kind of funny.
So, it's kind of like, what? Why did they do? Whatever. So, whatever. First couple episodes.
Exactly what it was like.
Yeah, and it happens over and over, and it's like, they'll have some strange shot of her breast while the other two are talking in the background or something, or just some weird glistening butt cheek or something. So it's excusable for the first couple episodes. Then, once they join up with the rest of the group that you follow for the first season, and I only watched the first season, the second one is out, but I don't think it's in America out. Anyway, when they get to that group, you start, whatever, all the horrible stereotypes, like dumb bimbo chick with huge breasts that would never, whatever.
I believe they like the term knockers.
They defy gravity and they flop independently. Like, they don't even flop together. They like... There is so much gratuity in the up-the-skirt shots and the gleaming buttock shots and the panty shots and the crotch shots. I mean, just full-on crotch shots. And it's to the point where you just can't focus on anything else for more than, like, every 4 seconds. Like, okay, you might think, no, it can't be that bad. It is that bad. It's really all the time. And I'm not pulling the moral high ground here, and I'm not going to be a prude. I think most people, in America at least, would be like shenanigans on this, unless they're like 14 and just discovering
they
their
have
sexuality.
A flag, shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
I'm calling it shenanigans.
Because it takes away from the awesome story. It takes away from the characters. And I'm not saying that you have to remove all the fan service. Just turn down the volume.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is just over the top,
so
ridiculous.
Blatant too. It's like she gets a wet T-shirt and her breast can show for the entire time. Okay, go ahead. Finish your thought, and then I'll get into it.
Obviously, we're both upset because, like RJ said, it is a great series if you take away all the gratuity. It's just.
Well, it doesn't even have to be all of it, honestly.
Like,
I would prefer all of it gone.
Me too.
But
I as well.
If you leave a little bit in there, that's fine. I mean, like the first couple episodes, you could overlook it. It's like, oh, it's ridiculous. You roll your eyes, they hurt, a little bit.
I think an interesting equation here is, if we're doing it, if here in America we do a serious animation, we want to throw in some comical things just to kind of take the tension away. What they did in this anime was, instead of the comedy, they threw tits and ass everywhere.
Right.
Just everywhere.
They do kind of do, like, okay, I referenced Desert Punk and how it makes Desert Punk seem extremely tame.
Yeah.
But I like sometimes when Kanta, like encounters Big Boobs McGee, I forget her name, but and like his nose instantly bleeds because he saw her naked or something.
But
that's funny.
That is funny.
And that's very infrequent. Right?
Very infrequent.
Which makes it poignant and kind of whatever.
In this, it's
Every
everywhere.
second. And they do have the blood spurting out of the nose, which I still always like. But, like, okay, there is a shower scene, and they do actually they make a reference to it, like, why are we all taking a shower together again?
Yeah, and why aren't
I think
the
they
guys
literally
taking a
say,
shower?
oh, yeah, like they're alluding to, oh, guys want to see it or whatever. But I don't think whatever. But there's the obligatory, your breasts are so big, are they real? Let me feel them. And it's just like, what? Like, I thought at least they would not show nudity. Like, they were really getting close, but I thought at least, okay, well, maybe. Then they just full out, like, one episode especially, it's like 4 or 5. They get to this lady's apartment, which they're kind of hiding from zombies. And, the girls are, whatever, they're dirty and tired, and so they have to change their clothes, wash them or whatever. Apparently the men don't have to do that because they just keep their clothes on.
I do.
But all the women have to take off their clothes, and there's nothing to wear but a very revealing apron or nothing at all, And it's like, whatever. They treat women so poorly. I mean, if they're doing kind of a stereotype for some of the characters, whatever. There is a strong girl, but even the strong girl is so oversexed.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 things that really pulled me out of it, like to the point where I really didn't want to finish the series. Number 1 was the badass sword chick.
Right.
When she and the guy are alone, and I didn't even remember the names because it's like,
who cares?
The point to talk about is fan service. They're off on their own, and she gets wet. Okay, like she gets wet in the front, so she's got the wet T-shirt thing. If that wasn't bad enough, they literally do a freeze frame of her, and then do like this weird like girl sigh and go, "I'm wet." Like they did they close up on her, and then "I'm wet" in the back, like I'm wet. It's like, what? What is that? It probably is because of the manga.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. The second one is they join up with this little girl, and they save the little girl. And it's a very serious moment. It's one of those this anime, it's like every once in a while they get to a serious moment, and you're like, okay, now they're done with the TNA thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they have, a minute solid of some action moment, and there's always a few weird shots in there. And then they do something that just totally takes you out of it, and yada yada. One of those moments was saving this little girl. The little girl then becomes part of their group, and she has a little dog with her, and yada, yada, yada. The next scene, when they wake up in the morning or whatever, the little girl is on top of this Humvee, and they lift her skirt, like the wind lifts her skirt up and flashes her panties. She's like 6.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Well,
that's not right.
Again.
I mean, it's not like gratuitous, like, ooh, look at her butt or anything, but they do just a glimpse, and it's just like, oh, they're not going to do that. They can't possibly do that. They're not. They did it. That's this anime.
Now, granted, it is an animation, but he did bring up a good point over lunch, saying that this is a high school, which means that all of these girls are underage in the first place.
That got me thinking that 6-year-old disgusting, and it's like, wait a minute, how old are these other girls?
Yeah.
It's like, I understand that 16-year-olds are developed enough to be attractive, but in this country, we're supposed to, what I mean? Like, and here it's like celebrating their sex. They're a grown woman. They're grown-ass women. They have huge breasts and shiny, well-hewn butts. And, it's like, come on. And then they do this thing, like, I guess we'll get into the manga, where I was also saying that the manga is still images.
Right.
It is very, very suggestive. And, like, they have a scene where there's, like, a guy on one end and a girl on the other end, and then a girl sandwiched in between on all 4s. So it kind of looks like they're doing something they shouldn't, but they're not really. It's like, but it's like, I know what you're doing. But they're still images, at least.
Yes.
In the anime, throw the rules of gravity out, buoyancy.
Who needs them?
It's like, they're just like anti-gravity bags to their breasts. It's ridiculous.
I think we're just both really tired of because it. Okay, if this was porn, it'd be okay. But this is supposed to be a very serious. Well, I mean, I don't know what the creators had in mind. Obviously.
Well, first of all, this would be impossible if it was porn. But I'm just arguing that if you want to make porn, that's its own thing, and if you approve of it or disapprove of it,
that.
At least call it, because it's so close. It's so bordering on that. Very suggestive. Whatever. There's things I can't really tell you about because this is a rated, at least our show. That would be like rated X or PG or
we're rated
NC-17 or something. But they show like little droplets of dew on certain places. That's like what? Like
Are we sure it's dew?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous. What was I going to say? I had something in mind. I started watching it because I was interested. High School of the Dead. That sounds so cool.
That's why I want to bring it up.
We came from like Dawn of the Dead, and we're like, yeah, I totally want to check this out.
And there is some great story there.
And there's a lot of really cool action scenes, but it's just it's
sullied.
It's sullied. Is a good word. It's completely destroyed by this gratuitous TNA.
I wouldn't say completely destroyed, because I still watched the first season, even though it got hard in the middle.
Right.
When they flashed that little girl's panties, I was really afeared for the future. I really thought that maybe they'd start doing some suggestive stuff, which fortunately they did not. But that even more, like, why did they put that in? But there is enough story that makes it interesting. I mean, I kind of, even though it's kind of a stereotype to have like the nerdy guy that never fit in is now like the weapons expert, I think his character was really fun.
Yeah.
And the main character's kind of interesting. I was reading another review that said his character, the main two characters, the main guy and the main girl, were the only ones that weren't totally generic like stereotypes. And I guess I would kind of agree with that, although he was kind of negative on the other stereotype. I kind of, it's a zombie movie. We're all used to this milieu, the repeated characters. And so, yeah, it's not one that I can recommend. I honestly cannot recommend.
I can't either.
But there is some stuff there.
Yeah.
That makes me want to recommend it, but I just can't.
I completely agree with that. That is a very good statement.
I don't think I'm going to continue following it because I'm going to make a stand. I mean, this is part of why I wanted to bring it up, is because it's rated 4 out of 5 stars. Now, I don't know how many of those are prepubescent boys that are like, ee, but yeah. I think people want to like it. I don't want it to be misinterpreted as, yes, Japan, this is who we are.
Now, if you have...
You've nailed us. This is exactly what we want.
If you happen to be a prepubescent boy, what episode was this you ever seen?
Yeah.
just so they know.
It never happened.
Never happened. If they had put in some more of the good stuff where the TNA is, it would be a great show.
Oh,
but they don't do that.
And it would be much more serious and have a much better pacing to it. And it would just be better. I mean, if you want to do fan service and a couple of action scenes, like the kick-ass girl, she's doing like this weird twirl thing and then her skirt happens to come up, understandable at least.
Yes.
Because, gravity and physics and whatever. But when she's just standing there and like somebody's being eaten alive and they're all upset and then you have to stare at an ass while that's happening. I mean, a sweaty, gleaming ass.
Sweaty, gleaming ass.
With tucked folds, and it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So that's High School of the Dead.
Yeah, we're not going to recommend it, but
I so wish
why.
it was better. I really do. Because if they did a serious one, I would eat it up. If they did a serious one.
Fun.
Yes.
Yeah. But they did. They did Walking Dead.
And the manga is fairly popular in Japan. But again, so is hentai. So a little cultural barrier there, I think.
Yes. By little, I think you mean an ocean.
Yeah. I honestly hope that doesn't change. That's part why I want to review this, because I don't want it to. For us, I don't want us to start accepting this as the new normal.
I see.
Like it's
Gotcha.
it's just not fun.
Well, I think again,
it takes away.
What I explained to you is
you have to be so insensitive to that, and so desensitized to nudity and.
Well, to bring up what I brought up at lunch today, Azumanga Dao is a great series. I love it. I'm talking about the manga, not the anime, although I guess it could be both. In it, there is this teacher who is practically a pedophile, always wanting the girls to, wear their swimsuits everywhere. Granted, they're one piece, they cover up a lot, but still, that's what he wants.
Yeah, and that's not okay.
And that's certainly not okay. But again, that illustrates their cultural differences, where that's kind of acceptable, I guess, which is still weird to say. Whereas me, if someone even hinted at that, I'd want to hit them.
Well, if you think about it, like girls used to be married off when they're 13 because they have the optimal birthing years left, stuff like that. But in this day and age, culturally, it doesn't make sense. I don't want to see this become.
We love the Japanese, we do.
Yeah, absolutely. They're brilliant, but why do they have to go in this weird thing so often? Like we've already, we've watched the Ninja Scrolls and the whatever
Love Ninja Scroll.
with lots of sexually suggestive stuff. But those
the Ninja Scroll, there was only like 1 or 2.
Oh, there's more than that.
I don't remember it.
There definitely is. But they are, they're adult and they're not always consenting, but it's a different, maybe it was kind of made for America though. So I don't know.
Yeah, and that's another.
It's just a squeamish situation.
That's another idea. Not an idea, but a realization that I just had. This was rated mature on Netflix. So I guess they're really looking for the.
I don't think Netflix has any business having this on there. Honestly,
I agree. But even still, it's rated mature, or it's not rated. I can't remember. Either way, maybe it was meant for the adult crowd who.
Yeah, but we are adult crowd. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't even.
Yeah, but there's some really weird people out there. I guess I don't know.
Bad.
Yeah,
bad
I can't.
Weird
We can't recommend this. There's just way too much to take away from the good story. So that's it. Do you want to do the friends us on Facebook thing?
Okay. Follow us on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. Tell us what you think.
If you're going to Emerald City Comic Con, please let me know. And when you get to Emerald City Comic Con, please buy his card game. And as always, comments. I will reply.
And if you have something that you want to say for this, go ahead. I mean, we're not going to be like, la, 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 or you're wrong and bad and evil for thinking so.
Yeah,
we'd
just
like
let us know.
To.
And I'll probably debate you because that's what I do. But yeah. All right. Bye.
All right, see ya.
Yes. Damn it.
I took my time and...
How come I'm not shooting freaking anything?
You always complain.
I do complain. I'm a complainer.
Of course I do too. So. Losers always complain. Next time, it's Sorority Boys. Wait for it.
Thursday.
Today,
I'm doing it. Oh, no, sorry, my bad.
Stepping on my toes.
Sorry, man.
Today, we finally look at Booby the anime.
Booby the anime.
Booby and Butt and Little Girl's Panties the anime. Series, I just made it a series. Boobies and butts and Little Girl's Panties. Wrong. I should have just like a... Wrong! Fail.
Fail. Epic fail.